What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Brother Bill. I am here in Gallery Carter with my man, Southside's very own Roger Carter. And he's getting ready to do a one-man show at Gallery Gishard in a couple of days. So we figured we'd get together and introduce him to the people so you can kind of know what to expect. The name of his show is called Black Heroes, celebrating Black fathers. So let's get to know my man, Roger Carter. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Hey, man, I am good. Thanks for inviting us into your humble abode. Tell us a little bit about Gallery Carter.
Oh, well, it's not really, it's really more so my home and my studio. So, you can call it a gallery, but, that's on you. But,
man, nobody else has got a house like this, man. This piece of work right here, man, is fantastic.
oh, yeah, well, it's kind of good to come home and see something as beautiful as that. So, I want the space to be inviting. I want the energy to be right. So, I kind of create that type of environment.
So tell me a little bit. How did this start? How did you become Roger the artist? Because I know you from your day job as Roger the computer geek, but your nighttime superhero job is Roger the artist. So how did that come about?
Well, I've always been an artist at heart. I've always done art as a young kid. Growing up in Auburn Gresham and Inglewood, art has always kind of been my outlet. But as I got older, art don't necessarily pay the bills alone. So I had to figure out some other things to do. And I've always loved technology, and I consider myself a problem solver and a troubleshooter. And technology gives me that outlet.
So with that being said, how does Roger the geek and Roger the artist, how do they coincide together? Does Roger the technology guy come out in your art, or does Roger the artist come out in your technology? How does that work?
I think it's two different animals, actually. I think in the AM, is something, I do like to sit and think. I'm a bit of a loner, so I do like to sit and think and kind of plan things out. I think that technology gives me that. It gives me that freedom and that independence. And I think art just gives me a way to just, I think it's total opposites, where I could just totally just be free and be loose and, kind of just do my thing.
So let me ask this question. Where did the idea for this show come up? Black Heroes. Where did that come from?
It's something that I've always thought about for years, man, at least a decade. The thing is, I think it's important to tell our story from our perspective and not have someone else, kind of dictate our story, our experience, the black experience. The black experience is different for different people, different strokes for different folks. But with this show, I want to present it from an honest perspective, where we're not trying to sugarcoat it. We don't care who's watching, and it's to tell these stories about black heroes and black men. It's a love affair with Chicago. It's a incestuous relationship with Chicago and black, and fatherhood and manhood. And I just think we need credible people telling these stories instead of somebody else telling our stories for us. So I just decided to do something like that, and it's more so of it's the black hero that I see in all of these brothers that I presented. So I don't have a bunch of images of myself, because I don't see myself that way, and neither do the guys in this series see themselves as heroes. But it's something that I see, and it's something that I think needs to be told from my lens.
So let me ask this question. Who's the black hero in your life? Who was the influence that made you who you are? I mean, I got an idea already, but I want you to tell the people who's your black hero.
Well, there's an abundance of heroes, and that comes with me. It's from both sides of my mother and my father's family. The Coons and the Carter. I believe that I'm a hybrid of both of those sides of my family, but obviously, my father had a real huge influence on me and how I really wanted to be. I think my drive comes from my father and so forth, but it's, I've tried to take it I think I've taken it to a different level. But if it wasn't for my father, it wasn't for my uncles, my brothers, my cousins, and all of these guys that make up this Coons Carter clan, I wouldn't be what I don't know. I still don't. I don't consider myself as a success. I just, just more so it's more family. It's a black family, and it's something that's not necessarily presented. So I'm just telling you. I'm just trying to present that from a, just from a normal, you know, not really giving a fuck what people think, and not trying.
My boy right there. There it is. That's my boy.
And not trying to. It's what it is. So you could take from it from what you want to take from it, but I'm just gonna give it to you how I see it.
So tell me a little bit about now. Now I'm a fan of your work, and throughout this video you'll see different snapshots of some of the work that he's done. One of the pieces you did a long time ago was Barack with a gun, which that was just, it made my mouth drop. But let me ask you this. Tell me a little bit about the black artist community in Chicago, because I know a lot of times I go to some of your spaces and there are other artists there and you guys kind of vibe off of one another. So tell me a little bit about the black artist community in Chicago.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good question. All of these questions are pretty unscripted, so I'm just going to tell you what I think. I think the black artist community, I think, is probably the most talented that I've seen in the nation. Is everyone has their own different style, and so forth. But at the same time, I think we need a little bit more collaboration amongst the artists, amongst the black artists in Chicago, to present and tell our stories. I always say you have two different type of artists. You have an artist who's interested in selling work, so they'll tone down their work and they'll make the work a little bit safer, but that's really not them. So my thing is, I would like to see more artists really be themselves, dig deep into themselves, and tell their stories, so no one else will tell their stories. So that's the only, but it's good. I mean, we do actually have a lot of dope artists in Chicago who, they hang out and we drink and we party, and I guess we smoke since it's legal now in Chicago. We can say that. But collaboration is important, and I like to see us more. I mean, it's up to the artists to tell our stories, right? It really is. I mean, artists change so much about community. Gentrification is really tied to the artists. Everybody moved where the artists at. So it's more so of us telling these stories and telling it from an honest perspective. And like I say, the black experience is different for different people, but we need to own that shit. I can remember when I was young and in grammar school, and you would get ridiculed because you like to eat fried chicken, right? So it's like, oh, black people eat fried chicken and watermelon and so on and so forth, and so what? Own it. Now you have all Popeyes and all these restaurants are selling fried chicken sandwiches, and stuff that's our culture, and people are profiting off our culture that we seem to be ashamed of. So anything, it's what we do. Red cups in our hand and barbecues and blue skies that's us. That's our culture. Own it.
So let me ask you another question here. We're gonna wrap this up. Your work is very different. As like I said, as we finish editing everything, people will see you've got a picture across the room of one of the fathers, and he's in a door frame. I mean, you don't use contemporary things. You've got a suitcase over here that we're going to show people. You paint on doors and things that people don't even think about using. So when you see materials, what do you see? Do you see the art first, or you just see a piece of material and then the creative process starts flowing after that?
Well, in community, in my community, you see a lot of trash. You see a lot of trash, and people always, you kind of wonder, like, damn, how come it's so much trash in these neighborhoods and so on and so forth. But then you look a block, or you look down the street, you don't see trash cans. Right? So shit is discarded and so on and so forth. It's trash. But when I see it, I don't see it as trash. I see it as beauty, and I see it as culture. And I think it's something that I like to keep going forward. And why. I just don't understand why anyone would want to be like everyone else. That has never made sense to me. So, in a way, you do want to kind of extend things, like a discarded window or a discarded door, and you can turn that into beauty, and black beauty. You can put a black face on a black door or a window, and so on and so forth. And to me, it's just it's beautiful, and it doesn't have to be in traditional sense that you're used to seeing like everyone else does. It's like I can go to art school. I can train. They could train me how to paint like the masters and so on and so forth, and that's fine. But my thing is, I know all the rules, right? I know all the rules and what I need to do and what I should do, but I'm also a breaker of the rules. And so that's kind of, as long as you understand the process and the structure, you still should be able to break the rules, and that should be able to separate you from the rest. If it, that's just my theory on everything. Not only art. I don't want to be like the next person. So
So here, let me ask you this real quick, and we gonna get out of here. Give me one word that defines Roger Carter, the man, and then here's the big question. Give me one word that defines Roger Carter, the artist.
one word that describes me as a man. I don't know. I think I'm just a bit of a loner. I can't think of anything else. I don't think I'm complex. I think I'm simple. I don't know. I've never really thought about it or thought about myself that described me in one word. So yeah, I don't know.
What about you as the artist?
Uh,
Renaissance man?
no, I don't think I'm a Renaissance man. I just think
Miss Words of the Spinners, Rubber Band Man?
rubber band man. Is
And
that
ever Miss Words of Curtis Mayfield, Hustler Man?
maybe a bit of a hustle? Maybe. Um, I don't know. I never really thought about it as an artist. I would say free. Yeah, I think that describes me on birth from an artistic perspective and as a man, as someone who's free. I'm still swimming to get to that island to be free.
Well, folks, there you have it. My guy, Roger Carter. I met him some years ago, and we just developed a friendship. And when I started seeing his art, I was just kind of blown away at what he was doing. And so I'm excited to be able to bring his story to you. He even did me a favor, and he stuck me in his exhibit. So, I'm still trying to get a piece of art from him. He ain't letting nothing walk out. So come to the art exhibit at Gallery Gashard. I know everything that's in the gallery is definitely for sale. And really come and support this artist, man. He is really doing his thing. He's well known. And you'll definitely want to add a piece of his art to your collection. This is your boy, Brother Bill. In the weeks to come, we're going to bring you some more of the local talent here in the city. There's some other black artists that run in this community that you need to know who they are. They're going to have shows coming up, and we're going to bring you interviews as they come about. But thanks for spending a little time with us. It's your boy, Bro Bill. Again, real talk, real walk. We'll get you next time.